I'm super excited to have Anita Wartzman here today, president of Farmers Edge, to come have a quick chat with us about the journey of Farmers Edge through their IPO as one of Canada's hottest AgTech companies, and then where she sees AgTech going over the next 5 to 10 years. Anita, thank you so much for joining us today. Really excited to have you here.
Thanks for having me, Sean. It's a pleasure.
And I guess one of the places to start, although if you're in Canadian agriculture, it's almost impossible not to know about Farmers Edge. But can you give us the Farmers Edge story and what's going on with Farmers Edge these days?
Sure, I'd love to. Farmers Edge provides digital tools and services that help growers and other agricultural stakeholders get more profitable, efficient, and sustainable decisions. And what we do is we take farms, which are very data rich and rely heavily on real-time connectivity. And it's no longer good enough to view data after the fact. So what we do is we make sure that the industry, including farmers, are getting quicker, more precise, measurable results. And we've developed an integrated platform called Farm Command, which is a set of digital tools that simplifies data management and addresses all areas of crop production. And that Farm Command solution, it integrates data from multiple sources. So you're pulling on all kinds of proprietary connected field sensors. It's field-centric data, as well as third-party hardware that's already in place that we're connecting into the cloud. And we analyze all that data with machine learning and artificial intelligence and translate this into information that a farmer and a trusted advisor of a farmer can then use to make a really good field-centric decision. So this is assisting farmers, that's our primary mission, in making critical decisions related to fertilizer application, seed selection, crop protection application, field management, production planning, harvest management, and everything else in between. This combination of our robust digital infrastructure and boots on the ground really helps a farmer manage his or her risk, save time and money, and produce more food with less resources. So we're excited because we're providing this comprehensive digital solution. We're now working with trusted advisors, including equipment dealers, irrigation providers, advisors, financial services, insurance, grain marketing, and more. And we've created this mutually beneficial digital platform that all these different partners can use. Farmers can now access customized products, which I'll hopefully talk about later. And then they're able to use our field-centric aggregated data sets to create really, really unique products, providing more value for farmers, such as crop insurance, carbon offsets, low carbon grain traceability, and others that we're working on at this moment.
That's super interesting. And I want to dig in more into Farmers Edge. But first, we'd love to start with your journey as well. My background is a technologist, and through our new fund, AgTech, I've been actively getting more involved in the AgTech space. I think there's lots of people who are listening to this today who are looking at how they can get involved in AgTech. What are the opportunities they see if they don't come from an agriculture background? I know you were successful in various lines of business before jumping into Farmers Edge. How is it that you got involved into AgTech, into Farmers Edge, and how have you found that transition?
Sure, I'm probably one of the most least ag-savvy people in AgTech, but learning more every day, and I've been learning since 2011. But I'll give you my trajectory, which is a little weird. I was a tax lawyer, and then I left my practice and joined a high-growth financial services company called Asante. And that company eventually went public. It was sold to CI Fund. And I built the business, the part of the business around growing our US footprint through sports agencies and business management firms. So, pretty far away from agriculture. I then went into another sports marketing company after I finished up at Asante in 2002, which was focused on sports marketing, NFL, NBA, NHL, and MLB. And we grew that quickly and sold it. So I guess you could probably call me a serial entrepreneur. I then started my own corporate development company, and one of my first clients was Farmers Edge, and I had other agricultural clients. And I got really interested in what was going on, and I started consulting to Farmers Edge in 2011. And as I got to know the company better and the space better, I just realized there was this massive opportunity in that space, and particularly digitizing the farm, the technology, and all the different outcomes you could have, including sustainability. I joined the company full-time in 2018, and I just kept seeing the opportunity there. So I would argue that, really anybody could work in ag tech and has a lot to offer in ag tech. I was just intrigued by the vision and commitment to execute in Farmers Edge. And the thing that really resonated in my heart was, the sustainability piece of it, which is at the heart and mission of the company, which is helping farmers, better use resources and improving the carbon offset footprint.
That's really interesting. And since you've joined in 2018, the company's gone through tremendous growth, international growth as you guys have continued to be successful, and now more recently, taking the company public. What's been the biggest change since you've gone through the IPO? What are the the learnings through that process, and what's the transition been like to being a publicly traded company?
Yeah, it was a lot of hard work, a lot of heavy lifting. The biggest transition was, obviously the disclosure and the reporting requirements. But once you get past that, I think what we found is that, the profile has really improved for us. We get a lot of ag tech opportunities coming our way that we wouldn't otherwise because of our profile. We've obviously got funding now to really grow and accelerate our growth. So it's a really exciting time for us. It's just been, really different. It's only March 3rd, so it's pretty new. But every day, you get inbound calls with really interesting ag tech opportunities that we're looking at all the time.
It's an exciting time for you guys, I'm sure. It's really an exciting time for all of Canadian ag tech to have a company go public and really put us on the map as we start to take on all these initiatives to become a global leader in the ag tech space. As the president of one of the more exciting ag tech companies here in Canada, as you look ahead towards the future, 5-10 years in the ag tech space, what is it that you really get excited about? What are the trends that you're watching, and where do you think our ecosystem is going as a whole?
Yeah, the fact that we're building an ecosystem for agribusiness and farmers is really huge for us. Providing more value every day to growers and developing digital products that just really never existed. The ability to collect the volume of data and the speed at which we can collect that data and then transmit it to the grower in a usable format is just so exciting, and that's really a huge trend. But there's also so much more going on right now. If you think about the carbon space, greenhouse gas emissions and reducing greenhouse gas emissions has become a huge trend for us over the years. There's another trend, which is traceability, being able to trace how grains are grown and being able to identify low carbon traceability grain. Are all huge opportunities, as well as ag lending and digital insurance, and automating all of that so that you could be in a tractor or in a combine and you've got access to all this data and all this information and all these products. So in particular, a great example would be our new canola heat blast yield protection product that just came out, and it's a brand new derivative insurance product, and it's very innovative in our opinion in the digital product area. It's going to help Canadian farmers protect the huge investment that they have in their canola crop, especially given the pricing of commodities right now. It mitigates financial damage when you have an extreme heat wave when you're blooming, and it can have such a huge impact on yields. And we've digitalized the flow of insurance data from start to finish for this product. So it's pretty amazing. It's a new product that's just come out about a week and a half ago. And we're working in all kinds of different areas on insurance, but we're able to use that field-centric data to get a really incredible product. We're not measuring weather data miles and miles away from the farm that might not even have the heat wave impact on them. We're measuring it really right on the farm, which is really impactful. The other area that's just huge right now is the area of ESG, and in particular carbon. There's just a significant trend to reducing greenhouse gas emissions. Everybody knows that. It's in the newspaper almost every day. And we're working with farmers to measure carbon sequestration as well as nitrogen reduction so that they can monetize offsets and reduce their carbon footprint. The beauty of our platform is it's ideally positioned to measure this data in an automated manner. And it's really, it's a side benefit almost of our platform. because it just makes collecting the data for carbon offsets so easy. Another leading disruptor, which I touched on before, is kind of traceability. And if you're using sustainable agricultural practices, we're able to trace all of that, collect the data on it, and then use that technology to verify that you've got a low carbon grain product, and then connect you to a buyer that would pay a premium for that product because of the way that you've grown, and we can prove and verify the way that it's been grown. So really, our focus is on sustainability, traceability, and then these new insurance products. They're just huge trends, but it all has to do with connecting the ecosystem and being able to provide, innovative, customized products for farmers.
That's super interesting, and I love the idea of both being able to analyze the amount of carbon that's being sequestered in the process, and then actually trace it through. Where through us as we put together AgTech, our new AgTech fund, we've been speaking with a lot of the large food brands across the world in understanding of what it is that they're doing. And we were talking to one innovation team recently, and they said just that in the sense that they believe in the future they're going to have sustainable labeling, that they want to prove that their cereal is the most sustainably friendly cereal all the way from the farm forward. So being able to measure it is one thing, but then tracing it all the way to the end state is something that's fascinating. And I love that you guys are on the cutting edge there. And when you do kind of look at how you guys have essentially paved the way in the Canadian AgTech space, we still have a long ways to go though as a country. Where we are a country of innovators, and that was true 20 years ago with the emergence of BlackBerry, and that's true today with the emergence of Shopify and all the exciting companies in between. We now have a publicly traded success story in the AgTech space through Farmers Edge. We have the 7th most arable land in the world. Yet we are still a bit of an AgTech laggard in many senses when it comes to producing more AgTech companies. What are some of the challenges that AgTech entrepreneurs are facing right now as they look to build the next Farmers Edge?
Yeah, and we, like I was saying before, even before the IPO and following the IPO, we have a lot of these ag tech companies approaching us. So you get to see a lot of kind of what's been going on. And the challenge is that it's a very crowded space. And there's just this massive opportunity because we regard the kind of the addressable market as like 2 billion acres worldwide. But it's hard for an ag tech company that has one particular technology to figure out how they're going to get to an actual customer. So there's so many great technologies, but the biggest challenge is how do you get to the grower, and how do you get to lots of growers, and how do you establish trust with the growers? Growers don't want multiple applications. They're looking for an integrated solution. So how do you work with others? And my answer to that, difficulty in terms of the challenge of being seen and heard, when you can have so many great technologies, but you might just not be seen or heard, is starting to build trust with the big partners. So if you start looking and working with, trusted advisors of farmers and finding a way to get in that way through whether it be equipment dealers, insurers, retailers, those partnerships have been around for years and years and years. And if you can get that trust built up with them, then I think that's a way to really get to the grower. Because then they can, kind of vouch for you with the grower and put you in front of a grower. But that to me is the biggest challenge. And we've spent a lot of time building partnerships, whether it be in Canada, the US, Brazil, or Australia. And it's a lot of hard work. So that's, I think, is the biggest challenge, is being seen and heard.
Yeah, no, I love that perspective. There's this idea that farmers are laggards when it comes to innovation. And that's just simply not true. These are the most innovative entrepreneurs in Canada. It's that the stakes are so high in what they do that they need to have trust. They need to understand that this product is going to add value. And when we see a product that adds value, like Farmers Edge, or another great example of this recently, not specifically ag tech, but in terms of just being able to plug something in and getting value, is the way that farmers have embraced Starlink. Like, they are doing whatever they can to get connectivity on the farm, and it adds value right away. It's this idea, though, that they have to use MVP style products that aren't ready in one of their 30 to 40 growing seasons they have. It just puts an unnecessary pressure on them, which is why so many companies haven't quite understood the perspective that you're echoing there. And I think that's absolutely right. And so as you sit, as the president of Farmers Edge, who's really helping lead the way here in Canadian ag tech, and you've seen the journey not only in the president's role, but having worked with the company as a consultant before that and the path that they took. What's the big advice that you have for entrepreneurs who want to build the next Farmer's Edge? So we've gone through the challenges of what they're trying to face. What is it that they can do, to build the next large ag tech company to help put our ecosystem on the map?
I mean, I think it's starting with the grower and building something that a grower really wants and needs, and figuring out how to deliver to that grower and getting to that grower, which is what I alluded to before. Making sure that the customer experience is really excellent, making sure you've got enough people that can demonstrate your technology and help the farmer or the grower embrace that technology, and getting those partners engaged. Um, it's to me, I've always felt that the main thing is having passion for what you do and truly believing in it, and then figuring out how to communicate value proposition to growers and partners about how you add value, and finding that value add that with growers, because you're not going to have the take up without that. And so you've got to really think that through and make sure you've got an excellent customer experience, and that you're constantly innovating and investing, both boots in the ground and technology innovations to make it easy for the farmer, so that when they pick up your technology, they want to use it and they don't get frustrated. So my thing is, feel passionate about what you do and really believe in it, and everything else will, come together for you.
That's awesome. Anita, I can't thank you enough for doing this. The most exciting point in ag tech history, I think, in Canada, unfortunately, has to be when we all can't be gathering in person. So I hope we can do this again next year, where we can have ag tech entrepreneurs colliding with industry to talk about what's going on at Farmer's Edge and what's going on in the whole broad ecosystem. But I'm thrilled that you could join us here today. Thank you so much for your time, and I'm really excited to continue tracking the story with Farmer's Edge and your guys' next steps.
Thanks, Sean, for having us, and appreciate all your support.
Awesome. Thanks.